everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. My name is Jim, and today we have a very special guest. She is an author of a children's book called A Million More Kisses, author of Rene Schultz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. So exciting.
Oh, this is really, really cool because we had a little interview before, and we've tried several times to do something on this, but I am so excited for you. You have so many good things going on. Tell us about the book. Tell us what's going on.
Well, the last time we spoke, I think we talked about how I used faith, hope, and boundaries to come out of a really dark place and to smash my goals. And so I'm still preaching that today because the proof is in the pudding. My book, there it is, A Million More Kisses. It's my book is on loss and grief. It's little Geronimo, the Chihuahua. He takes you through a beautiful relationship with his elderly Nonnie. And she gets dementia, and as Geronimo takes you through his loss and grief process, he learns confidence and self-worth and hope and joy, and that's the message. Yeah,
that is amazing. It's amazing. It's a children's book, correct?
Yep, illustrated, beautiful, watercolor, full page. It's beautiful. All through the New England seasons, they take you to through Geronimo and Nonnie's relationship. Carving pumpkins and going shopping for Christmas, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we have those 4 seasons here in Michigan, and we're coming up on my least favorite one. Not fall. Fall's okay, but it leads to something worse that we don't talk about on this show. I'm
you were saying it's cold there today, right? It's like 80 here in New England.
It's like 50 something here.
Yeah,
it's supposed to. It was a low of like 57, and then it was supposed to be the same for today, tonight, and tomorrow. About 50s all week. We went from 75, 80 to right down to, 70-some, not 80, right down to 50s.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's
cold and rainy and yucky.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm indoors. I got my fireplace here in my little office area, so we're doing really, really good with that. You know what? We're talking about Geronimo. Geronimo is a dog, right, in your story.
Yeah.
And what do you hope to accomplish with his story with Nonnie and, the whole interaction in his process he goes through in the book? What are you hoping to teach children through this story?
Emotional fortitude. It's a heavy story, but it teaches, there's a lesson on almost every page.
Wow.
From trust when he's first adopted as a newly adopted dog, to patience because Nonnie repeats herself, to compassion and empathy and self-discipline when Nonnie cuddle time is now quiet time. And Geronimo has to sit with the wires and the tubes and not move too much because they bring medicine to her body. And it teaches when Geronimo goes to the funeral, he hears lots of beautiful stories about Nonnie, how when people needed a place to stay, she invited them in. And when they needed something to eat, she would cook for them. And Geronimo learns that he must be pretty special for Nonnie to love him so much. And and I really tried to weave throughout the whole story nature and looking to nature. I'm a Christian, and short of being able to write a book for 6-year-olds about, love Jesus and God loves you, I just want kids to look to nature, find your favorite thing in nature. And really that's where the creator is settled. And that's when we can find ourselves and find the creator and have self-worth and know that we are on a path and we were created special. And so ultimately Geronimo just finds peace and joy in nature and helping others. And Geronimo actually does talking points on grief in the end, and he explains the many emotions that can come with grief, like loneliness and anger and sadness. And he lets kids know these are normal emotions, and that sometimes we call it a broken heart. And reaching out to people can help us, and sometimes telling our loved one a funny joke or just sitting and crying with them. There are a lot of different ways to work through these feelings, and there's everybody grieves. Everybody grieves. And, loss and grief are 2 things that we don't really want to bring up with our children. Like, what's this book? But the truth is we've been grieving. Every soul has been grieving since we were born, right?
Yeah.
So we look back on the pandemic, the past, what's it been, 8 or 9 months or whatever. And if I asked you to make a list of everything that you've lost, you want to know what I've lost? I've lost this and that, and I've lost my spirit and part of my identity, and I can't do this and that. What's your child lost? Could you write down such an extensive list for your child? Right. So they're grieving about all the different things, not just in life, but everything that we're going through. They're grieving whether you want to admit it or not, whether you have time to cope with it or not. And my story just takes you through this beautiful story and helps kids be vulnerable and learn that we all get sad and it's okay. And it helps them recognize all these different emotions so that you can move on from them. I mentor self-harming teens on Instagram. And the one thing is so hard is helping them move out of this space of just constant despair. It's been like 5 years and the self-harm and all the things that they go through. But not being in India or not being in Pakistan, I can't help them move on, and so I hope through my book, I want kids at an early age to learn that you can move on and it's all normal and this is grief and this is loss and you can do it. And the funny thing too is about the self-worth part in here is, why do we blame ourselves and where does our self-worth go and our confidence go when we lose somebody? Right? It's like, I'm no good anymore. I'm not like, I'm working with somebody now who just lost a brother. And just watching that self-worth and clinging to his faith, it's just that faith and hope is so, so important to get us through.
Well, in that, the book is kind of like a gateway between the parent and the child to open up that discussion about grief and that discussion about loss and things like that. How does your book kind of open the door for that type of conversation?
The expressions on Geronimo's face is amazing. The illustrator captured him so beautifully. And so a child who isn't able to express himself or herself right now, they don't understand why they're sad because they can't go to school. They don't know why they're so angry they have to do a Zoom meeting. They don't understand all these things. And this book gets you all vulnerable. Everybody gather around, read the book, get vulnerable, and let's talk about these emotions. And it'll help the kids recognize through Geronimo what they're feeling.
And to parents out there too, if your child's struggling through the loss of a parent or just loss in this pandemic and everything is changing and there's some grief in that and some loss. So if you notice your child's going through that, this book really helps them to understand their own emotion and to you to be able to talk to them about their emotion through illustration and through the story of Geronimo. And so that's very key for you to pick the book up so that you can have that conversation, and there's a tool there to assist you in talking to your children about grief and loss and those things. So that's what I recommend in this situation. But I've got the author here today, which is really, really cool. And so how did this take place? How did this all come together for you?
I took a picture of Geronimo in like 2017. He was standing at the top of Nonnie's stairs. It's my mother-in-law, actually. He was standing at the top of the stairs looking down. And I was just like, oh my goodness, it's like he's saying goodbye. And at the same time, I was just coming out of a bad place. And I had written a little jingle for little kids and put it on an author page. And someone reached out and said, you should write children's books. So around the same time, I had that idea. And so after 3 years and a lot of money and a lot of getting screwed by a lot of different people in this industry, I have my book. Nobody can stop me.
See, that's the thing that I want to say about you, Rene, is that you have had so much go on with you in your life and things that have happened to you, and also things that have tried to hold you back. But every time something goes wrong, you smile and keep going forward.
Yeah.
That's a lesson too, because everybody out there, you know what? You can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You just have to stick with it. You just have to keep going, and you just have to put your mind in there like, hey, you know what? This didn't work, but I'm going to continue on. And Rene is such an example of, going from, hey, you know what, I want to do this concept, to hold the book up one more time. Let's hold the book up for me. To this. I mean, it's in your mind, guys, when you want to do something, and then all of a sudden here it is. Here's the finished product. And I'm so happy for you. Very much so in my spirit. I'm very happy for you because I know the journey that you've been on to get here. I don't know if you want to tell everybody some of those things. If you don't, that's fine. But, even generally, how has it been on this journey to get to that book where it is right now in your hands?
Well, maybe that's So my book is kind of dramatic and emotional because I had a really, really tough childhood, since diapers, sexual abuse, and then physical abuse at home and severe bullying at school, multiple assaults, just a lot of different. And then even as an adult, just people thinking they can just say things to people and there's not going to be a consequence. And after everything I went through as a kid, being an adult, I dealt with CPTSD and suicide. And so people's words did pile up. And it was a really, really bad time about 5 years ago. My children said goodbye to me in the house because that was it. We didn't know what was going to happen. And using the faith that I have, my faith is in Christ, my unfailable faith is what brings me hope for tomorrow. And even when there was only a shred of hope left, when I thought nobody would ever know how I felt and nobody would ever know what I went through and what am I going to do? Just nobody's ever going to know. And I make stupid decisions and I act out and I react. And I realized later it was, CPTSD issues. When I just was at that final last speck, I thought of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. And I was like, nobody will know what he went through either. And
Absolutely.
I just took his hand and he pulled me up. And I'm just so beyond grateful. And so that hope that held me through that excruciating pain and through everything that kids go through, that's what my story is about. It's about that hope and that joy, because you can get through it and you've got to pass this down to your kids. You've got to pass it down to your kids. So if you're struggling with all this yourself, I really think you're going to enjoy my book and it's going to inspire you, because we've got to be passing this down and we can't unless we have it ourselves, right?
Right.
Can I read you a page about the hope?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see, where are we? Geronimo ran to Nonnie's front door. He sniffed the air. Something was different. A breeze blew in through the open window as Geronimo lay down next to Nonnie. He squinted his eyes to the sun. Hey, Pete, the bluebirds called out to him. Caw, caw, the crows cried. Geronimo remembered Nonnie's words by the stream. I wonder what they're trying to tell us. We are still here, Geronimo heard them say. The wildflowers are still here. Audrey and the library are still here. You will have fun again.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that's that. And then it goes on, if you know someone who's grieving, it's kind to reach out and try to help. And Geronimo wants you to remember healing takes time. And Geronimo finds joy in a dragonfly. So his favorite part of nature is the dragonfly. And it's the example for kids. And then I actually am selling merch with Geronimo and the dragonfly on it so the kids can see it and remember, I've got to find something in nature to make me happy.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it's exciting. I want to build strong kids because the waves of life are coming. And whether they're acting out right now, and this is the other thing, or I want to say real quick, as parents or as adults, we can have like our favorite restaurant that we go to every day at lunchtime at work close, and we're like, now I drove here and it's closed and I'm not going to have any lunch, and you get back and you can keep it in perspective and shift and say, well, I think there's a granola bar in my glove box. But you have a child who doesn't have their favorite restaurant and they're like completely hysterical because they don't know how to keep it in perspective and just, all right, there are bigger things in life. And so that's what I want my book is to just help change perspective and just keep things real and help them to be able to switch that mindset.
Absolutely. And
that's all.
And you also have perseverance about you. I mean, there's so much that you've been through. I keep hitting on this point, but it shows through the book, about coping techniques and things that are very valuable for kids that don't have these techniques and don't know, okay, I just lost something or I lost someone. Who do I turn to? Where do I go? It's hard to talk to adults sometimes about inner feelings and things that you go through as a kid. And so because of the book, you teach them coping mechanisms through Geronimo and his adventure and his relationship with Nonnie and the whole thing where is building those techniques in the children, and then also being able to now communicate that through the sharing of the book with the parent, or the parent sharing the book with the child and reading to them out of it to help and bring those coping techniques to the children. It's a very valuable book, and I really appreciate you writing it.
Thank you. Geronimo has a very strong sense of self.
Yes. I don't know where he gets that from. Just kidding.
So cute.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So
But
I have
oh, go ahead.
I have more books. Oh, I'm sorry. I have more books in the series coming. The storyboards are laid out. It still takes time to get it done and everything. And then I also have another series that I've been working on. I had written that also as like just a little short little book, but when I had it edited, she said, no, this needs to be a chapter book. So I'm working on that, but I've already hired the new illustrator for that and started character design. So, yep. Keep going.
It is so amazing to see you come from where you were to where you are, and that's what this is all about. My show is about what's your story, and in this, it's not the story that you have, like your story in your past and all that stuff. It's a story that you tell yourself. You know, it's the story that we say, I'm good enough or I'm not good enough. I'm scared out of my mind to be on here, or I'm not, you know, I'm just going to go forward. You know, we tell ourselves all kinds of stories as children, as adults and things like that. But you know what? It's important to know that you can change your story on the inside, on the outside, and at the depths of your pain, at the depths of your loss and hurt, there are ways to deal with it and to come out doing like Rene did, you know, becoming an author, going from just something in your mind to a physical thing that's right here for everybody to help kids and to help parents that deal with loss, and not just in death, but loss in any situation, you know, that'll help out. But it's just part of what we do as people, you know. You either fight or flight, and Rene fights. She really does.
Yeah, I flighted for a long time, and there's got to be a time where you just meet yourself where you are, and you say, I was created special. I have more worth than the mountains, more worth than the oceans. I am not going to give up. And I started talking about faith and then trailed off. I don't even know what I said, but my point was that I have this unfailing faith. Faith brings hope. Hope just comes riding in piggyback with faith. And so that's where you get that hope that will never die, when you have an undying faith in something. And it's that hope that is the strength to build boundaries. Hope is the strength to build boundaries. So you've got to have those together so that you can keep your boundaries, so you can smash your goals. Because when you're not keeping your boundaries, you're flailing and you're making dumb decisions and you're ruining your relationship, and you're saying crass things to coworkers because you're not keeping your boundary, because you don't have hope that your work is going to get better, because you have no faith in, whatever. So it's important to keep all of these and day by day, practicing, bit by bit, row by row. That's how we make our dreams grow.
Yes, that's how we do that.
So I'm on Instagram at Woody Knoll Publishing. If anyone is struggling, you just need a little insight, a new perspective, DM me. I'm here. I also have another Instagram handle, That Wicked Smart Chick, SMAHT, because I am from New England. So, and I'm on Facebook, Rene Schultz. Come and find me, and my website, Woody Knoll Publishing. Check out my website and what I've got going on, and yep, big stuff.
WoodyKnollPublishing.com.
Yes,
is the web address. And how do they pick up the book?
How do they pick up the book? They can go on Amazon. It's on sale. Right now it's up for pre-sale, and then October 1st is Wednesday. It will go live. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That is absolutely amazing. Anything else that you want to tell the folks out there before we go?
I believe in you, so if you need someone to believe in you, you can come see me. Honestly.
Rene is one of the best-hearted people I know. If you are having problems, if you are having struggles, if you're a teen and you don't know where to go, Instagram, go ahead and reach out. She's not judgmental, she's been through a lot of things and can help you out a lot. The book is amazing, and you need to pick that up as soon as possible. This has been a journey, and I really appreciate you being on. For everybody out there, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button for this video, and go pick up the book, A Million More Kisses by Rene Schultz. Everybody, you have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next show.